So first off, just talk about how the summer felt, how the off season felt, and just kind of how you've progressed coming into this season.
Summer felt good. Had a lot of fun working out with our weight coach here in Hattiesburg. Kind of just hit over the break, took it easy. Didn't really change too much, kind of just mentality. Not much swing changes over the summer, and yeah, so far we're having fun this fall.
Awesome. So last team, really old team, and now this year it's looking in the lineup, you and Slade are two of the only familiar faces we'll see. How has your leadership role changed in this offseason coming into this year?
Definitely had to mature a little bit, but I kind of learned some stuff from Danny. There's a lot of leaders on this team, old and young, kind of learned some stuff from Danny. But, just kind of showing the young guys how we kind of do things around here and hopefully turning them into leaders one day.
So first pitch to you, absolute nuke. Like, it was the second inning. I was still sure that it was still flying. Talk about what you saw on that pitch and how it felt once you hit the bat.
Just saw a fastball. I think it kind of opened the zone. It just felt good, It's always cool to hit homers. Yeah.
So going into the season, who are some names that you think that we're going to see and that the fans are really going to become familiar with as the season goes on?
Seth Smith's going to be a big guy for us. He's got a lot of talent. He's young. Let's see. Nolan Tucker's going to be a big guy. He's kind of an old guy, transferred from Valpo. He's really mature at the plate. He's a leader, one of our leaders for sure. So, yeah, that's two big-time names.
How have you seen Nick Monaster kind of progressing as he through the offseason?
He's unreal. He's unreal. He's going to be really good.
His diving catch in the scrimmage was very reminiscent of yours versus JMU, except you got a little bit more air and he was more sliding.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it was big time for him because he's had to make the transition from infield to outfield. So for him to be able to make that athletic play with hardly any practice is just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck this season. Thank you, Carson.
Take it easy.
So starting off the interview, just kind of talking, you're moving to kind of replace not only one pair of shoes, but two, in both Blake Johnson and Rodrigo Montenegro. How did it feel kind of learning from them last year, and how are you going to take what you've learned to kind of become the guy?
Those two are some of the best catchers I've ever been around. They're both very good at different things, and that's what really helped us last year. Early in the year, Blake was a stud behind the plate, and then at the end of the year, Poach hit 400. There's not many guys in college baseball that can do that. And Blake was such a leader, and he became one of my best friends last year. We went turkey hunting, no telling how many times throughout the year. And taking the little things from him that he did really well is really, really helping me this fall.
And so kind of taking the little things has helped you. What has set you apart from them? What do you think that you bring that's a little bit unique to Southern Miss baseball?
Well, I'm from here. I've been a Golden Eagle fan. I remember coming to the games when I was 10 years old. And I've seen it. I've been around baseball for a very, very long time. I'll be 23 in less than a couple weeks. College baseball has been around for the last 5 years, and I've been in it.
Yeah.
Taking everything you've learned and using it has definitely helped.
And so kind of growing up as a Southern Miss fan your whole life, how does it feel to, be here? And this year, you're kind of expected to be the catcher. How does it feel growing up, coming to the games, and now you are playing in the park that you've been watching games at your whole life?
Man, it's an honor. I can't put it into words how excited I am for this season. Coming off of the last 2 years, everybody's expecting a lot, and we expect the exact same thing. We don't take breaks here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
So kind of coming into this year, I mentioned this to Carson Paetow. The two of you are really the only two familiar faces heading into this year in the batting lineup. How does it feel for you to kind of expand as a leader?
Yeah, it's definitely a role that I think both me and him are ready for. And, we've been on some really good teams. We have a lot of experience at this point. We have some really good players, and we're just looking forward to help them get used to that experience as well.
You've garnered a lot of nicknames over your tenure. What would you say your favorite nickname is that the fans have given to you?
Bunker Hill Bomber.
Bunker Hill Bomber. I'm partial to the Barry Bonds of Bunker Hill. I like the alliteration. There's just something about that. So what have you kind of worked on over the off season? Have you made any changes, or has it more just been mental?
Yeah, I've made some changes. I've really worked hard on especially outfield. I've DH'd the past 2 years, and that's been great. We've had good outfielders, and I really want to play outfield this year. And so obviously just keeping things working smooth with my swing, but really trying to get better in the outfield for sure.
And so kind of making that transition to the outfield, how does it feel like, fans are kind of expecting like a core group of you, Paetow, and Nick Monaster. How would you describe y'all's chemistry out there?
Oh, it's great. We're all brothers. I mean, we know what to expect from each other. I mean, both those guys, just like me, we're going to show up every day, bring the energy, bring the life, and just make sure all the other guys are doing the same.
You know, being one of the 2 veterans in this lineup that fans have been, very familiar with, who do you think fans will get to know very quickly as the season progresses?
I think fans will definitely come to like second baseman Nolan Tucker, 5th year. I think he's a graduate, grad transfer. He plays a fun brand of baseball. I mean, he gets after it every day. And then Davis Gillespie. I think he's going to hit a lot of home runs for the Eagles.
And so kind of speaking of home runs, like, you've been known for that power hitting. Do you expect to just kind of keep hitting long balls like you've been doing last season, or like what is your personal goal for yourself heading into this season?
That's a tough question right now. I haven't set any definite goals yet, but just be consistent. I want to be consistent every day and be a leader for these guys and just show them what it looks like to come out every day and put in the work so we can add on to that board out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
So kind of coming into this season, you're now a graduate assistant. Describe that transition from player to coach.
It's a little weird. It's definitely a little weird not getting to play in the inter squad, stuff like that. But I'm liking it so far. I mean, I always had a good relationship with the coaches, so that stuff has kind of come easy, that side of it. But I'm liking it a lot so far.
And, kind of mentioning that, every single, even opposing coach has described you as a student coach. Like, they've really never seen anything like it out there of you just constantly encouraging the guys. Have you found it easy to transition into that coaching role, or how have you kind of had to make some adjustments personally?
Yeah, I think the biggest adjustment I have to make is kind of letting the older guys in the team do their thing and not trying to. It's almost like I want to control everything and make everything happen. I got to kind of let them do their thing, and we got good leaders on this team. They're going to lead the team well. I just kind of got to step away and let them do their thing.
And Slade, Wilks, Carson Paetow, 2 of the only veterans in that lineup. How confident are you in them being leaders on the team heading into the season?
Oh, I'm really confident. Slade and Carson are both awesome leaders. They're awesome young men. I mean, I played with them both of them for 3 years, and it was awesome. They're really good guys, and they're going to be awesome leaders for this team.
Lynch has been a fan favorite, since your older brother Tim first got onto campus. What does it mean to you that you can still help impact and help develop Southern Miss baseball in the way that you are right now?
A lot. I mean, I love this program. This program did so much for me. I want to give something back to it, and this is a good way that I'm still able to do it.
Last question: Have you gone to visit your property in Lafayette lately?
No, have not.
Well, you probably should. I heard they have keys to the city and a whole college there that you're the owner of. All right, so heading into this year, there's a lot of changes around this Southern Miss lineup. Only 2 people that were in the lineup last year are going to be in the lineup this year, or 3 people, and you got 2 big veterans in Carson Paetow and Slade Wilks. Kind of talk about this transition. Like, there's not only a big transition going from Scott Berry to you, but also in the lineup and in pitching.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's several transitions, and, the first one, talking about the players, we kind of knew it was coming through, graduation and then the draft, and we did our best to prepare for it, and we really like the pieces that we have out here. I mean, it's been a really fun group to come out here with every day, and this is week 2 of scrimmages, and these guys are competing hard, and we're just kind of letting them play and watching them and seeing who fits where, and it's just like a puzzle. You just got to put the pieces together, but we'll know a lot more in about 4 or 5 weeks when we get done with our fall camp, but these guys, man, they're competing hard, and they know what this place means, and they know their responsibility and stuff. So, yeah, there's going to be some new faces scattered out there, but we feel like they'll be ready to play when that time comes in February, for sure.
A lot of young pitchers on the mound today, and all of them looked really good. Can you just kind of describe how confident you are that even like these true freshmen are throwing heat?
Yeah, I mean, we love our freshman class, and it's. This pitching staff's got a chance to have some depth. They still got to prove it and earn it, but from a numbers standpoint, how much depth we have, and then what I think is some quality depth too. We got a lot of neat pieces. We have some experience back with, Nico and Billy and Will Armistead, who all of them started games for us last year and are pitching some big moments. amongst others. But, I think you'll see some of these freshmen getting their opportunity this year, and that's why we recruited them. And, it's our job just to, help them grow and develop. And the biggest thing with them is just teaching them the mental side of it. And that takes a little time. But no, we really like what we have there, and, and excited about, not just now, but the future.
Awesome. And, speaking of these younger guys, who do you think are some names that Southern Miss fans will become very familiar with as the season goes on?
Oh, man, I think they're going to, fall in love with all the new faces out there, because that's just what this fan base does. But Davis Gillespie's one that, he was a redshirt last year for us, didn't play, just developed. And, he's got some really, really good skills with the bat. I think he'll be a name that they'll get, common to hear his name a lot and being in the action, amongst so many others. Some of the transfers we got in up the middle with Ozzie Pratt and Nolan Tucker, I think they're poised to do some good things, and really all the freshmen. And I think there'll be a lot of them getting out there, getting their opportunity, and it's going to be fun watching them grow. And so I'm not going to pin it on just one or two guys. I think it's a collective group that that has a lot of talent and ability. We just got to let them grow.
And, how much does it mean to you to have Danny Lynch go from being a player here for forever, and now he's coming back as a grad assistant? What does that do for the team and for you?
Well, it's great. I love Danny. Been with him, last 5 years, when he was a player. And, he always brought, energy and charisma, just the way he played the game in practice and during the game as well. And I think he is a huge resource for these players, especially these new players, but all of them. And he's doing the same thing he did when he was a player, man. He comes out every day, and whatever's needed, he'll work hard, he'll do stuff, and he's bringing energy. So very thankful to have him. I think he's going to be a really good influence on these new players and younger players for sure.
What are some of the biggest things that you've taken away from the fall scrimmages so far?
Just the fact that this is a different speed game than it was for a high school player, a different speed game than it was for a junior college player. And you got to let them grow. You got to let them, kind of figure that out. And what happens, good players do, they adjust, and it takes a little bit of time, but that's why we do what we do. The fall's a long fall. These guys are getting their teeth kicked in the weight room 3 days a week. It's hot. We're out here practicing, so they're not necessarily fresh. And that's kind of by design. You want them to understand how to compete when you don't feel your best. When the spring gets here, we're going to give them every opportunity to be fresh. But it's a long Division I baseball season, and you got to be able to play tired. You got to be able to play banged up. And, so just letting these guys understand that this is big boy baseball. And, you got to up your game mentally and physically. And I think our staff, Coach Mack with the strength and Logan, they do a great job, and we try to do the best job we can of preparing them.
Who do you think, Carson Paetow, Slade, Wilks, they are really stepping into a new role? Because, last year you had such an old team with Danny Lynch, Christopher Sargent. How have you seen them kind of grow into a new role as one of the big leaders on the team?
Well, they know it. They know it's their turn. They know it's their time. Slade knows it. Carson knows it. The other older guys that we have here, Matt Adams, Chandler Best, Isaiah Rhodes, those guys have been here since 2020. They know they got to take a bigger leadership role, but in particularly with Carson and Slade, I can hear it, I can see it, that they're trying to lead, and they're doing a great job of it. And we're not forcing it on them. They got to be themselves, but they understand that that's part of their responsibility, and they want it. And and I think they're going to do a great job with it.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Perfect. Thank you, man.